Greetings and welcome back to Wolf Cage, Los Angeles. You know, every time you think Sacramento politicians can't sink any lower, they find new ways to prove you wrong. Today, we're talking about Governor Gavin Newsom and California Democrats cooking up yet another corrupt scheme. This time it's redistricting. That's right. The same folks who claim that they're protecting democracy are now trying to rewrite the rules to protect themselves and themselves only. So here's what's going on. For decades, California has had something called the Citizens Redistricting Commission. It was created to take the power away from politicians when it comes to drawing election maps. Why? Because history tells us when politicians control the maps, they rig the system. Gerrymandering has been around since the early 1800s, named after Massachusetts Governor Elbridge Gerry, who carved up a district that was so bizarre it sort of looked like a salamander. Same trick, different century. Now Newsom and his corrupt band of merry men want to gut this system. Yeah, they want to gut this system and hand that power right back to the politicians. Translation, they want to pick their voters instead of the voters picking them. That is not democracy. That's a very, very expensive form of manipulation. And it doesn't stop there. Carl DeMaio, chairman of Reform California, just filed a citizen initiative to stop this scheme. He's calling it a poison pill for politicians. So here's how it goes. Any legislator who votes to dismantle the Citizens Redistricting Commission or pushes maps that override it would be banned from running for office for 10 years. Now think about that. Imagine telling these career politicians, you cheat the system, you sit out a decade. Now that kind of sounds like some sort of real accountability. Meanwhile, Sacramento is planning to spend $4 billion of your taxpayer money to run a special election in the middle of a budget deficit. Yes. They're cutting services right now, raising taxes, and still blowing billions on political games. Does this remind you of anything? Because it's the same kind of fiscal insanity that's driven California's debt sky high, while us ordinary citizens, we're drowning in the cost of living. And I've seen many of my friends have to move out of California because of it. And here's where it gets even dirtier. Reports now confirm that at least 3 Democratic lawmakers cut a quid pro quo deal. Support the new maps, and in return, carve themselves cushy congressional seats. It's self-dealing, plain and simple. We've seen this before on and on again in California politics. Remember back in the 80s? Remember Willie Brown? He was notorious for wielding redistricting and using it like a weapon to consolidate power. It's just different players, but it's the same game, it's the same corruption. And don't forget, Newsom himself has a long history of ethical problems. Remember the French laundry scandal during the lockdowns? Where Newsom dined maskless. Yes, while we were all in masks, he was dining maskless. And he did so to funnel billions of dollars in no-bid contracts during the most deadly pandemic in human history. This redistricting grab is just another chapter in a long book of arrogance and a long book of corruption. Now, DeMaio's plan isn't just about blocking corruption, it's about punishing it. And he's tying it to another big grassroots push, something that should be obvious, something that should be common sense: voter ID. Why people think that they shouldn't have to have voter ID to vote in national or any election, period, is mind-boggling to me, but whatever. Together, they're aiming for 1 million signatures to get both initiatives on the ballot. You might ask, why combine them? Because people are tired of being played for fools. They want fairness in elections. They want accountability for crooked politicians. And let's be honest, California courts aren't exactly reliable. We've got too many liberal judges that have a history of siding with the political machine. And I think that's the reason why DeMaio is betting on the ballot box, where people themselves can drop the hammer, per se. So here's the big picture. This isn't about lines on a map. It's about the soul of representation. If politicians can redraw the battlefield whenever they're losing, then your voice, your vote, your community, all of it becomes meaningless. That's not just corruption. That is a very serious form of political fraud. California used to be the land of opportunity, but under Newsom and his crew, it's become the land of special interests, of backroom deals and billion-dollar boondoggles, whether it's homelessness, whether it's taxes, crime, or now redistricting. The common thread is this: they keep failing somehow upward, and there are never any consequences. Why? That's why initiatives like this matter. So, if you're in California and you're tired of being ignored, this is your chance. This is your chance to push back. I'm not involved with the organization, but I'm going to do this as well. Visit reformcal.org. Learn more. Decide for yourself. Because if we don't hold these people accountable, no one else will. This has been Wolf Cage, Los Angeles. Stay sharp, stay questioning, and don't let them play you. And stay unwoke. Until the next time, peace.